So my name is Lefteris Karapetsas. I'm the founder of Rotki, a portfolio tracking and accounting tool that respects people's privacy.
Hi, hello. Happy to see you. So we have a super express interview because you have just 15 minutes. I'm sorry for catching you that late, but I really wanted to briefly to discuss with you lots of things that you are familiar with. So, but briefly, let's start for the people who don't know you, a bit of your background, 1 minute, how you ended up as a Rotki founder.
I have been in Ethereum since 2014, working for the Ethereum Foundation here in Berlin. Before the launch of Ethereum, I was working on the C++ client and the Solidity compiler. And then later, after the launch, we continued working on the ecosystem until I switched to a startup called Slockit that made the DAO. And I'm sorry, everybody, for that. Then I was a technical lead of the Lightning Network, which is the Lightning Network is for Bitcoin that was supposed to be for Ethereum. And during all that, I wanted to account for whatever it is that I'm doing in the crypto space. And there was only Bitcoin.tax, which is a centralized website where you just give all of your financial data and they will tell you how much you owe in taxes. And that seemed insane to me, so I started a tool, a command line tool at first, that became Rotki later, basically as a solution to the problem of how can I do accounting without giving all of my data to some kind of centralized service.
Okay, beautiful. I would like to hear more on Rotki, but we have just 10 minutes, so maybe super briefly you can say about Rotki, and then we will jump to general decentralization questions.
Yeah. Rotki is a portfolio tracking and accounting tool that keeps everything local. So it's a good old local application that you just download and use. It will connect and pull all of your transactions, decode them, understand what it is that they're doing. It allows you also to interact with the chain. So it's like a kind of a manager of everything that you do in crypto, all from inside your local system. The main selling point compared to every other alternative is that it's all in your local system. If something happens to me, you still have it. It's all open source, someone can just continue it. I cannot stop you from using Rotki, and I cannot take your data from you. It's all local. I cannot say, okay, from one day to the next, just the company goes bankrupt and then doesn't exist anymore. You can still use Rotki because it's just an open source tool that you download.
Yeah, that's a really wonderful tool. And maybe next interview we'll discuss more about the challenges you had to overcome building that, because it's very interesting, the builder's path. But I wanted to talk with you about a bit more about decentralized apps and the problems of decentralized apps in general now. Why not so many? When many apps? Why? What's your perspective on that? And maybe you can give also some advices to builders trying to build some dApps, how they can do that.
Yeah. So why don't we have many dApps, or why don't we have many real dApps?
Both. And it's good that you separate that.
Yeah.
So let's discuss this and that side.
Yeah. I actually think that we have enough apps, both dApps and centralized apps. There is quite a lot, I think. But there is very, very few that are actually dApps. Well, just everybody calls a dApp nowadays anything that has to do with crypto, which has killed the name, because dApp is supposed to mean decentralized application. And in the end, what dApps, most of them are at the moment, is just some centralized server running a front end, running a code, but just interacts with a lot of indexers and maybe at some point with the chain. But that's not really a dApp, because the original vision of a decentralized application that we had when we started Ethereum was this, the Mist browser. It was this local application that runs on your machine, contacts the chain locally, and shows you the front end for each application. Let's say, it didn't exist back then, but Aave, Uniswap, it's just all interacted with from inside your local system. Now, why don't we have not many dApps? Is a good question. It's purely that it's actually very difficult to build. So the builder's path is very, very difficult. So advices on builders on how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you had this path, right? And you had certain challenges. Maybe you can share just challenges that you had on the builder's path so that other builders could avoid it.
Yeah. The main challenge is don't do it because it's very, very difficult.
That's a brilliant answer. Don't do that. Just forget.
I mean, like, it's a challenge. It's not gonna be an easy way. So, like, if you want to go for just easy money, just don't build a real dApp. Like, it makes no sense. But if you are here for actually building solutions, then go step by step and don't try to do everything at once. Like, don't try to solve all the world's problems in this one application that you're building. I've seen many builders fail because of just maybe getting too excited and maybe too idealistic and just trying to do everything, like completely decentralized, the front end decentralized, all the data somehow split between different nodes. I have had some architectures that made no sense and just sounded very, very nice in paper because they just took everything to the extreme. But it just is not very good as an idea, as of practical. So, as I also said in Protocol Berg yesterday, no, day before yesterday, like, we shouldn't let the perfect become the enemy of the good. Like, decentralization and privacy, they are not like binary. It's a scale, and probably you should go step by step and go more towards the privacy aspect and the decentralization aspect in your application, but go step by step. You can't just build everything at the rightmost part of the scale from the very beginning.
Yeah, makes sense. And then there is another thing, like how to stay sustainable, right? And you have some certain experience of like public goods and fundraising, so maybe you can share that, because it's not always obvious, especially when you're doing like something niche and private. It's not obvious like where to get. You don't have access to this major VC money. How do you survive?
Yeah. So there is where I would like some advice from someone. Like, it's not easy. I am in cheat mode because I believe I have cheated here, since I have been on the field for so long that people know me very well. So my name carries some weight, and this may give me, probably does, some advantage in all of this, the funding programs and everything. People want to help because they know me. So maybe try to build a name for yourself first, but maybe this is not a very good idea. Maybe the other one is try to find funding. Like, there is funding in funding. There is VCs that are bad, there is probably VCs that are good. And maybe you don't need to raise a VC round. You can really just do a small seed round. There are so many angels out there, especially in crypto, people who made their money early enough and want to just help, give back. So this kind of angels, people that their purpose is not to do 100x on their money. They just want to see the field flourish. This is a good option, to just try to go the funding round, but not through the bad VCs that will basically tell you, no, just turn this all into a centralized app and put your users in a walled garden, and then at some point you will see about monetization. Second would be monetization. Try to monetize the product. Not too early, because probably that will scare away people, but think of how you can make money. If you're making something that will never make money, then you should think on a totally different direction. You should think, okay, we should have a charity foundation trying to always live out of public grants and funding. this is not something that I would advise for. It's very difficult, and this money will probably run out at some point.
Okay. Yes, it's a quite useful advice because it's, I mean, obviously not easy to be a builder, especially like if you just start this journey, right? And you then don't have like name connection or whatever. What should you do? But then, I don't know, do you want to talk about like maybe challenges and problems in the intersection of like privacy and the Ethereum ecosystems? Like what do you see is broken now and what can be fixed like in the nearest future, but not going too deep technical?
Okay, yeah. I mean, for privacy in Ethereum and transparency, I guess it's these two attributes that are kind of confused. Like we use Ethereum a lot for transparency because everything is public, like not on Ethereum, all the public blockchains, but Ethereum especially, because they feel that they know the best. We like to use it and advertise that it's transparent and it can help against corruption. Let's all use the chain so that everything is traceable. But of course, this creates a lot of problems for the individual. Like, the privacy in Ethereum is basically non-existent. There is no way to have privacy in Ethereum today. And I mean, we all know Tornado Cash and what attacks any privacy protocols have had in Ethereum. So I think that what we would need to do as a system is to, as a ecosystem, is to push more for accepting privacy, like maybe have organizations like the EUCI to help push regulators to understand that privacy is a requirement. Because if we continue this path, there is no privacy. There is not going to be any privacy in public blockchains. And with the criminalization of privacy protocols, then it's really not advisable to be using the public blockchains anymore, because it's just too dangerous to do something and that something be there forever. Like, it's not just funding, understanding where funding comes from and where money moves, but it's also about actions. So like voting a specific way, DAO vote, or donating to a cause, let's say, I don't know, the Ukraine war, or something like that. And then there is someone who sees that you donated to a cause that maybe they don't like, and that's there forever. And like it's trivial for anybody to see.
Yeah, 100%. And it's it's very controversial. I mean, there's a sense. And I would really like to go there a lot because like that's what we do. We work a lot as Web3Privacy now. We work a lot with policymakers, with lawyers, and we try to advocate for that and make regulations also more comfortable for everyone in the market. And that's a really good topic to explore, but we have a few minutes left. So let's go a bit practical, and I would ask you for advice for someone who is just exploring the world of privacy, like on the 101 level. Like, how could someone, like, what 3 habits, let's say, someone could start practicing, a person who is not private but is interested in, and like, what are 3 habits that a person can do or use or integrate in his or her life to kind of be more private?
Go to Google Maps and disable this tracking thing that they had. This is number one.
That's good.
Second, of course, like use encrypted communication. Not Telegram, not WhatsApp, I would say, but Signal probably. Probably there is others. Keybase, I think, is also pretty safe. And then, if you're into crypto, separate stuff. This is extremely important, even for OGs. They make this mistake very often. Understand that this, like you have 1 or 2 addresses, they become your public addresses. They are your public addresses. You kind of silo them. You make them, they only talk to each other and to exchanges, nobody else. You have to be extremely careful about that. And then you have your private addresses. They should never talk to each other because then this link will be there forever. 3. I think this is 3.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's super good because like many people, they come to space and they're like, okay, what should I do? There's so many, like I read, I understand, but like practically, how do I implement this like privacy way of life? But I want you to reflect a bit on the future. So imagine we are like 30 years from now and we have the internet that we dream of, like private, secure, whatever you wish it to be. Like, how do you imagine this internet and how do you imagine life? Like, if like all our dreams are true.
Yeah, that's a very hard question. I have a very bad imagination for this stuff because it all goes badly.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking it. Because there is so much negativity now. The world is quite fucked. So
Yeah,
but still we are doing a lot to kind of move forward, and I hope eventually it will move us somewhere. Maybe that's why I'm asking not like tomorrow, but in 30 years.
Somehow something could switch us to using local machines more. I'm very local maxi, especially, and I have lost a lot of like I've got a lot of despair with the AIs and LLM because I use them. They're so useful, and contrasting a local LLM right now with like the best models that I can use by paying OpenAI or Anthropic or Claude or ChatGPT, they're so different that we need to make those better, like close. So if we have a world where we can transact privately for everything, like we as individuals, that everything is private, and I can myself provide proof of these transactions to a third party without actually revealing anything else. So some protocols that are already being explored right now. So for transaction privacy, that will be pretty cool. And then for everything else that is government side, to be public. Like this is what we want in the public blockchains for, right? Somehow we have become completely transparent, while most of the governments we are still wondering what the hell they're doing. And abolition of KYC. I just don't want KYC to exist. That would be great. Some kind of. I actually talked with the founder of IDOS, and he was basically kind of trying to explain that okay, KYC is basically identity, right? So we need an identity protocol that's self-sovereign. So that will be very, very good. So that you again selectively can just disclose to someone your identity, but not say it as the whole world and have it leak here and there like it's happening right now. Like from the privacy perspective, that would be pretty cool. I hope it happens faster than 30 years. But with the LLMs and stuff, the timelines have gone a bit crazy. Like we're talking about AGI and everything being done by LLMs, and like they're talking about a year. So 30 years, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Then one more question, like a hot take on AI and LLMs. So the thing is, it's so big now, right? AI, both Web 2, Web 3, whatever, and like everyone is using it and doing it very unconsciously and like not very secure and private. So maybe you can recommend something like, how do you use AI if you ever should use it, but still not doxing yourself too much and still staying private? How to do it like it's a secure way, right?
I mean, the only secure way is to run a local model through OLAMA. Like it's not very difficult. It's actually pretty easy. Like they have very good guys out there. You can just do OLAMA and run various models. The DeepSeek, the Chinese one, DeepSeek, right? Was the one that is probably the best, but you need computing power. It's basically, it's a hardware problem. So I use them, but they're not private. And I don't know what to solve here because it's not just convenience, it's worse. It's productivity. This is not anymore about convenience. And we're talking about a huge difference between, I have a beefy desktop. It should be able to run well, but it doesn't compare to the latest Claude or ChatGPT. And that's bad because I have to, also for my business, right? Like if I can tell Claude through Claude Code to write code for me and solve 3 issues at the same time while I'm making a presentation for dApps, for example, this is what I'm actually doing right now, then I will do it. And there is no choice. If I don't, my product will be irrelevant. I'm pretty sure that we need to solve this. This will become probably the biggest privacy question in the next years. How can we make LLMs private? And I don't think so. The thing that you would think, okay, local. But then we need to somehow level the playing field, because the local models versus the models that Anthropic has and you have to pay for, and God knows what they have internally. I don't even want to imagine what they have internally. It's so huge that I don't know how we can close this gap. We probably need a way to, I don't know, pool resources between some kind of open AI. Oh, wait. Open AI. An actual open AI that is open, and the world pool resources to create an open model that's actually better, would be super great, but at least as good as the ones that they had. Because otherwise we will have to use them. I don't think that there is a choice anymore. If you don't use them, you are going to be left behind.
Yeah. And that's first. It's really like your thing about like productivity, because it's actually productivity.
It's insane. As a developer, I think that I really love development. I love coding myself, but it does so much and so much faster that it makes mistakes, sure, but maybe it will become better that it will even not make those mistakes, and maybe it will become better than me in a few years. So it will become a must that you just have to use it. It's not a choice anymore. And that's why we have to go there before this happens.
Okay, and then the last one, because I really don't want to hold you anymore, like quick recommendations. We are doing this once again for the Academy. So maybe you can recommend some like cultural piece of maybe a book, maybe a podcast, maybe a film, something that you think could expand like anyone's like, I don't know, level of perception. It might be on privacy, or it might be just in general, like how to enrich yourself, right?
And okay, that's hard. That's really hard. Yeah. I don't know. Lately, I've been listening to podcasts. I mean, podcasts are like for example, for AI stuff and where we are going. Like, I really love the Hard Fork podcast. That it's really a lot about tech, and they really do a big focus on AI. And then I don't think I have any.
It's fine. Like podcast is perfect.
Yeah.
It's a good
probably
one.
more, but I have to write them. I just don't remember them.
I know. It's fine. Listen up for like super quick interviews that we have. Yeah, maybe we'll catch up at DAppCon and we will have more time.
Yeah, maybe. Because, yeah.
Okay, so thank you for the interview.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Ciao.